Hello and welcome back. It's week 2 of my decluttering, cleaning, refreshing zone by zone throughout February. So last week I did my entry balcony and little entrance area with quite a large utility cupboard that now is much more organised. Now if you didn't see the first one, I'll link it up here, and lots more came out than I expected, and I promised you then that zone 2, the kitchen, would be nothing like that. I do it all the time. I'm sure there won't be much. I've sort of been looking as I've used it through the week and thought, no, maybe that's not quite true. So today we're going to get into that kitchen, get it organised. There may be some things to come out, maybe not, but we'll see. Now, many of you will have been here before, and I've worked in here before with you, and it's a great kitchen. Now this was something I was concerned about when I downsized, because I had a large kitchen, very good function. Well, I designed it, of course it was good, and I really enjoyed it. It was a great space to work in, but this space is and has been a surprise to me because I love it. Absolutely love it. It's so functional, so easy. Everything is a step from everywhere else, and because of that it makes really the process of cooking fun. Because look, it looks tidy, doesn't it? I know. But then there's this area. Can we just come around here to my pantry? Yes, shall we say that it's been neglected just a little? Okay, now this is a great thing to have. It's only the depth of a normal bench, and yet it gives so much space. It's a really good utility cupboard. Having the shelves, they're a U-shape so that you can get to everything, nothing's at the back. But as you can see, it's a bit of, it's just not the way I like it to be. So that's what we're working on today. And then over here behind me, my refrigerator, which is fine, but the other space that I know needs some love is this one above the refrigerator, where I am sure I am going to find things that I simply do not need, love, use, whatever, and so that's a space I'm going to tidy up. Everything else is not too bad. I'm just sort of thinking as I'm going. There are things probably I could get rid of from in here, but no, a whole lot more coffee capsules at the back there. Just getting some more delivered today. Maybe they're all, I don't know what they are. Oh, I know what they were. They were those supermarket Starbucks ones, and they're not my favourite. So I'm down to this, but I'm having some more delivered any minute, and that's okay. What else? Oh, I've got some things up in here that could probably go. Well, one thing I can see that can go. And yes, okay, so there's a little bit of tidying and a great pile of tea towels and dishcloths in here, but other than that I think it's probably okay. I know, now that I've opened a few cupboards I have to sort of open a few more, and I think these are kind of okay. Can we say kinda? And in here I have sort of protein powders and things that I use daily. So that's organised. Well, it needs a bit of tidying up. The drawers are always fine because I've got good dividers, and that's one of the big tips, of course, is to have pretty good dividers in your drawers, and it makes an enormous difference to staying pretty under control. Maybe this one needs a bit of love. Do you think it? No, I think that needs a bit of love. And the bottom one is where everything sort of ends up. I've got a really clever measuring cup there. My little steamer chopsticks. This is one of those cookie sheet things that you roll out things on and bake on. It's one of the IKEA silicone range. And of course cookbook with lots of tabs for things that I try to tempt me into making things, nice healthy summer meals. Now, one of the things I'm going to do as I go through this kitchen is talk about my 5-ish sort of rules for having an efficient downsized kitchen, or honestly an efficient kitchen no matter really how big it is, unless it's enormous like my old one was. So I mean, I really went from huge to small, no middle ground here. And so let's get out and start talking about space and how to use it efficiently. Now, one of the things that I have really focused on is having appliances, things like that, that are multifunctional. For example, as you saw last week, one of the things that I use a lot, that I keep sort of front and centre in my utility cupboard, which is right next to my kitchen, for those of you who haven't seen the first video. This is one of these items that does so many things. It's a pressure cooker, slow cooker, it browns, it sautés, it does rice, you name it. This thing can even make yogurt, which is just a joke really, given that I have now found a yogurt maker. See video 1. Now, so that's the ultimate multi-use appliance, and boy, does it get used. Now, next to it is something that is completely single-use, and one of the few single-use things I have, which is a salad spinner. Now, that really just does one thing, but it does it better than anything else could do it. But generally, I go for the multifunctional things that can replace 1 or 2 or even 3 other items. And I've learned to be very intentional about any new purchases. I'm currently thinking about buying an air fryer, but before I do, I have to think how often would I use it and where would I store it. Other thing in a small space, or any space really, but particularly in a downsized space, is to store things where they are used. So right, here's my kitchen sink, obviously, and up here I keep tea towels, dishcloths, and also my hand wipe ones. But another area where I do this is over here. And here I have my kettle, my coffee machine. In the drawer below I have cups and mugs and glasses, obviously, so beverage things. And then up here I store all the range of teas and things that I use, and I am trying to use up a lot at the moment, so that's good. But these are all things that are right beside where I use them, and also where it's convenient, because for example, this Dutch oven, it's really heavy, it's a good cast iron pot, and I use it a lot, and it's really got nowhere else to sit. But having said that, I don't mind it sitting out here because it is getting used a lot. This is another thing I need to have a quick declutter with, because cooking, I do like to cook, and that's the difference between, so I know that there are a couple of minimalists who have an absolute purge of anything that's visual clutter in a kitchen, but I'm using these things, and so for me that's an intentional use. Now it's time to sort through the kitchen tea towels, the hand towels and the dishcloths, and just sort everything out. And also have a look at these little things like graters and my ricer and those sorts of things, and make sure they're put away neatly as well. There we are, much better. And this is my tip, because these are the same towels that I use in my bathroom, and obviously I don't want to mix them up. So once they've got a bit stained, they come here to the kitchen. They're still clean, they're still fine, but the hand cloths. And I put a green dot in the corner, and that lets me know when they've come out of the wash that they are ones for the kitchen and not to go back into the bathroom. And here are some of the things I got out. Didn't expect that. And here's that awkward space above the range hood, which is always difficult, but it's such a good space. So that's a little item that belongs to a set that I do use very often, especially in winter. I got rid of a drinking cup with a llama on it, but my children's little breakfast plates, they're staying, and so can the Oh Dear Christmas one, because come Christmas, my grandson may well be sitting up at the table and eating out of it. Time to tackle this set of utensils that sits up by the cooktop. There are lots of duplicates in there when I actually look at it, and it's time to move them along. For example, I don't need a spoon and a ladle. I tend to use the ladle, just reach for that one. I don't need the extra slice because I reach for the black one. It's better to use. These little whisks can live in a drawer. That's easy. Wouldn't get rid of them, they're great. And so can the extra set of tongs, another thing I don't want to get rid of, but I can move it along. Much less crowded. I need my step ladder for the next one to go above the fridge. I keep medications and first aid up here, and things that I haven't seen for quite a while. So I'm sure some of these don't need to go back up. That's a good little lunchbox and a wrap container. That's perfect with its own little insulated sack. But I'm going to use that white container to put bottles in over in the pantry. Well, that looks better, and all of the medication has been gone through and everything else has been tidied up. And my little pile is growing. I know my pantry's not too bad, but it was driving me crazy. I needed to sort out my spices, and all my storage jars and containers were just spread everywhere. That's much better. You can see I've got my kitchen wrap, my baking paper inside the magazine files that I bought ages ago. They work really well. I've gone through and put everything into containers and out of packets, and I've reorganized all my spices so that they are tidy and I can find things. The little counter is empty again, and down here I have baskets for potatoes, and on the far side onions, yes, separate of course, just some spare jars in the middle. I put cans in a basket so that I can just pull that out and get easy access, and I do the same with my various glass containers, and beside them are all my baking trays and things that I put inside file holders, which also works really well. Yep, I'm happy now. I did a quick tidy through a couple of the drawers that were a bit disorganised, and now they're clean, tidy, and I know exactly what's in them. And this is the pile of things that are leaving my kitchen, and I'm delighted about it. And my final tip is that if you're downsizing or renovating or buying new, but it's going to be a smaller kitchen, then look for good natural lighting and windows that open so that you can get cross ventilation. It makes all the difference to a small space kitchen. Well, there you go. I finished it. I was in and out a couple of times today, but I just kept going back. I didn't let myself put it off. I'm really pleased I did that. So it's sort of back to zero, which is the way I like it. There are a few things to return to people. There are things that belong somewhere else. There are things that need to be recycled. And there are some things that are just rubbish. So that's all now dealt with, and I'm really pleased with it. So the next one, Zone 3, my bedroom. That should be quite easy, she said, cross fingers. And my home office, what should be the guest room, but... We've talked about the Monica closet before, haven't we? You remember from Friends, when Monica had anyone coming over and she just stuffed everything in that one place? Yeah. Well, look, it's not as bad as it has been, and I'm pleased with that because I did a big turnout last time, and so it's never really got that bad again. That's a positive. But yeah, Zone 3, bedroom and home office. That's going to be my next one, and we'll see how I go with that. If you're enjoying this, please come along, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share with friends. Help my little channel to grow. And wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you're staying safe and well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.